Welcome back. In the previous task, we saw how you can install and set up the Power BI desktop. And in this task, we will learn how to connect data, shape and transform our data. Let's get started. To connect to data, you simply click on this Get Data button here. Clicking on it, you can see a whole lot of sources where you can get your data from. You can get your data from files, from databases, from Power Platform, Azure, online services, and so on. I'm going to connect data from Excel, so I'll simply click on File, click on Excel, and click to connect. The Connect button takes us here in order for us to select the Excel file. And the Excel file is on the desktop in a folder called Flowridge. So navigating to the desktop, I'm going to select the folder called Flowridge to open. These are the different Excel files in the Flowridge folder. We're going to be working with the returns table. So selecting, and I'll click open to open the returns table. It takes us to this navigator where you can see the different sheets in the returns table. In this case, we only have one sheet. So you can click to have a preview of the rows and columns. So this is a preview of the rows and columns in the only sheet in the returns table. As a best practice, it is recommended to hit the transform button here, transform data button here, before loading. Even though you think you won't make any transformation, it is recommended you transform before loading. The transform button takes you to the query editor, and it's a good way to make sure your data looks good before you begin modeling. In some cases, you might see edit data instead of transform. Now, this is a Power Query or query editor. It is like our best friend when it comes to preparing and transforming data. You can see we have two windows here. One is the Power BI desktop, and the other is the Power Query editor. Work first on Power Query, then you close and apply to go back to Power BI desktop to create models and visuals. Do not try to work with both windows open. What I'll do next is to maximize this window. Then I'll head over to the View tab and enable the formula bar. The formula bar shows the code for every single transformation you make in Power Query. What I like to do is to make sure that all my columns have the correct data type. To check this, I will head over to the Transform tab and then select Detect Data Type, just to be sure that all my columns have the correct data type. I can see that the territory key is under numbers, product key is numbers, and so on. Now, to undo a step, Ctrl Z does not work. Instead, at the right hand side here, you can see applied steps. It's a good way to document your steps. You can simply click to remove a step and go back to previous step. You can also change the data type of your column by simply selecting the column, and then you go over to this button here under data type to select or to change a data type. Another way you could do this is after selecting the column, you can click on this button to change the data type. Now it's time to practice. Pause this video and try changing the data type of product key to decimal. And when you are done, continue with the video and I'll show you my solution. Alright, to change the data type of the product key column, I'll simply select the column and click on this button and then select decimal number. So it's asking if I want to replace current column or I want to add a new step. So I'm going with add new step. Okay, and you can see the new step added is actually showing here. So this is how you can change data type of your column. So I'm going to click this to remove to go back to the previous step. There are other things we could do with the Power Query editor, and we'll learn that in the next task. So in this task, you learned how to connect and transform data. In the next task, we will look at other things you could do with a Power Query editor, such as renaming, changing case, adding columns, and so on.